Okay, hello Nixie. Money indeed. I think everything is good. So this should be a fairly simple stream. Or actually kind of a different stream from normal since, okay, I'm confusing myself with menus. Because normally I end up focusing entirely on damage stats, um, until, until I get to like 20 or 30 or whatever. Um, but the Black Scorpion Stinger doesn't scale at all unless you infuse it, and I plan on infusing it with raw. So I don't need to focus on those stats at all. So I'm curious to see how at least the base game will go. I imagine the damage in the DLC will be a little bit underwhelming, but we'll see. I'm gonna fight the Pursuer, get the Ring of Blades, which I will. I might get the Ring of Blades +2 in this run. I feel like that makes sense to do. Though we'll see if I am capable of beating the double Pursuer fight. And then I'm gonna get the branch from Malentia and all that. So, a little bit of a simple stream, but also hopefully a unique one in terms of where I put my stats and everything, right? So I'm pretty curious to see how this goes myself. I've used the Black Scorpion Stinger once. Oof, my neck. Yeah, I used it as my backup for a pyromancy run. But I ended up using it almost exclusively and barely touching the pyromancies. But I didn't end up finishing that run, I don't think. I might have gotten to the castle? I don't remember. I didn't get very far. So I'm sure I'll be able to finish this run at least. But getting it should be fairly simple. I'm gonna fight Najka and buy the Ring of Whispers. I'm not gonna fight Tark. I was thinking about fighting Tark so that I could get the weapon without fighting any bosses. But I feel like Tark would just end up being harder than Najka. Ow. I should heal. I need to be careful. I didn't put Estus on my bar. Okay. I should be fine to just go up the ladder now, actually. I think I'm gonna grab the Fire Longsword. I think the Fire Longsword will make this easier. Probably do more damage to Najka, and I'll be able to get it to +3 pretty easily. I can grab the large shard to get it to +4. Make Najka a little bit easier. I don't think Najka is particularly difficult, but she can be a little weird sometimes, especially with lower ADP levels, so. I'll probably get it to +4. I'm gonna fight the Crystal Lizard with the Scimitar. Since the moveset is a little bit better for that than the Fire Longsword. Alright. I don't know why my brain always tries to open the door first. There we go. Titanite shards there. And I already got the one in Majula. I feel like I'm missing one. Where's the... There's 4 in Majula. Oh, and then 2 there, right? Okay, never mind. I got the one in Majula, I got those 2, and then there's the 3 in the Majula Manor. In the attic or whatever. Pardon me. I should have... I think I grabbed the bones in Majula. I hope I did, because I want to use one here. Yeah. I want to use one here, and then I want to use the one that I got in the forest to warp away from Gale, like I usually do. Is it Kale in this game? No, it's Kale in this game. Kale in Elden Ring. But the spelling is weird, because Kale is for the C. I don't know why I get them confused. So, I think looking at the screen might be a little bit higher of a priority than remembering the names of random NPCs. Well, that's Kale. That's how you spell Kale. Hello, Cinder. Welcome. I think this is a life gem. Yeah. And then Kale is with a C in this game. There's an effigy there. We could pretend that there wasn't an effigy there and that I haven't died. Also, I was messing around with the curved sword moveset. Is the one-handed running attack like actually exactly the same as the one-handed strong attack? Because it has the same animation at least. Oof. It might have different motion values, but it does the same like double swing. Oh, let me actually land it. I don't know. It seems very similar at least. But I don't know if it's literally exactly the same move. Like if they just copied the move over and put it on a different input. I'm to fall over. Never mind. Hello. The fast attacks. I'm fine. Don't mind me almost dying to a random ironclad. Jesus. There we go. Everything is fine. I'm good at the game, I swear. I should have time to grab this. The salamander is terrible at hitting you. Oh my god, it hit me. That's never happened before. Wow. Okay, don't grab the soul. Got it. Good to know for the future. Probably gonna fight the pursuer with the fire longsword unupgraded. Not worry about it. Just so I can use the souls from the pursuer to buy stuff. Instead, or yeah, so I don't have to buy the key first. Actually, I have enough souls. It would make the fight easier. Not that it's hard, but might as well. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough souls to upgrade after buying this though. Pursuer, I hardly know her. True. However, women I do know, if they're okay with it, I happily pursue them. Okay. Need to go get Kale. I don't know if it makes sense to use the bone actually. Especially since I haven't upgraded I haven't opened the shortcut yet. I guess I could just run around and open the shortcut. And then rest there. And I won't need to use another bone. It's not like I usually run out of bones anyway, though. I feel like I use the fire longsword more often than I need to, but I also feel like I don't use it very much. I'm pretty sure Noshka is weak to fire. I'd be very surprised if she wasn't. Can you talk less, please? Please? Thank you. Oh my goodness. Starting off strong. I know the Black Scorpion Stinger doesn't have counter damage on it, right? Or, I mean, it doesn't have a counter modifier. So will the Leo Ring affect it? Does the Leo Ring add 15%? Or does it multiply the current value by 15%? Is it 15%? I don't know. Whatever percentage it is. Is it multiplicative or additive? Or will it work on the Black Scorpion Stinger, I guess is a better question. Because if it does, then I'm definitely going to grab it early. If it doesn't, then I probably won't grab it at all. I guess I do need to fight Ornstein either way, because I want Targray's pants. But... Ow. That was the most accurate throw I've ever seen from that Firebomb Hollow. I'm fairly certain that this guy's spear just hit the firebomb away from me. That's funny. Can you stop? Oh my god. It's multiplicative. Oh yeah, base counter is 0 or 100, yeah. Okay, good to know. So I will grab it. And then wear it at least until I get Flynn's ring. But I'll probably wear it for the whole stream. Oh yeah, I was gonna go upgrade, huh? Oh well. It's fine. I know that the Black Scorpion Stinger has relatively high AR. I'm not sure how relatively high, at least for early game, right? Um, I'm not sure how much that falls off, though, compared to, like, other thrusting swords. It's not like other thrusting swords are, you know, not significantly better than most other weapons anyway, but I guess we'll see. I think the thing that I'm most apprehensive about is how well it's going to hold up in the DLC. I don't think there's any boss in the DLC that I'm particularly worried about, like, being difficult. You might be a little iffy in terms of, like, damage resistances. But I'm not actually sure how resistant Fume is to thrusting damage. Piercing damage? I think it's thrusting in this game. Ah! Why did it use the fast one? Jesus. Why does it have the fast one? I kind of want to learn the Pursuer cheese where you, like, jump across the ladder and then sprint to the bonfire, but I've never actually done it successfully. I don't know if I'm, like, doing it wrong or if I'm getting unlucky or what. But I haven't tried it on stream yet. Let's throw that on. Okay. Use the fewest weird / offbeat weapons? Yeah. I think Dark Souls 2 has the most as well. I think proportionately it's the one where I've used the least, but it's also the one where I want to use the most of them, and I've just put the least time into Dark Souls 2, relatively, because it's, you know, so much longer than the other two games. What are they doing? This. High stat requirements. Yeah. The thing is, though, Dark Souls 2 gives you so many levels that usually doesn't matter. When it comes to, like, scaling, it's a little bit harder, because soft caps are higher than in Dark Souls 1, but you just get so many more levels that I don't think higher stat requirements are that prohibitive. I need, I think, 3 levels in dexterity and 1 level in strength for the Black Scorpion Stinger. Go grab the shard and stuff down here. I don't know if it's worth it to get the soul vessel. I suppose if I end up wanting to get, like, to infuse it or something by the end, it makes sense to grab it now just in case. But I'm not sure that I will want to respec at all. Though I guess late game, there's not really any reason to not respec. It'll just get me more damage. Like, especially if I go into lightning for the DLC. That's a lot more damage than I was expecting on this guy. Are skeletons weak to fire? I don't think they're resistant to it in Dark Souls 1, but that's why pyromancy is pretty devastating for the catacomb skeletons early game. I mean, Dark Souls 2 does have respecking. I think it's technically limited, but it's you can respec a lot. I think there are a lot of soul vessels. I don't know if any of them are, like, in wooden chests. I don't know if you'd be able to get them back by using an ascetic, but locally. Scorpion Stuger. I agree completely. Could be getting it fairly soon. Hopefully Notchka doesn't take me too long. I like to think I'm good at the game. Scorpion Stuger. Okay, reinforce. I don't care about getting to +4. I know I said I was going to, but then I forgot, and now I don't want to go back for it, so. fine. It's just Noshka. I'll be okay.
To see, however.
I have 2 of these. I've never actually fought Tark. I know he has a unique moveset, but I don't know exactly what it consists of. Is the main reason I'm not fighting him. Want ADP. Oops. That should be fine. Swarpert. Is this like Frampton Kingseeker again? talking about Tark's real name. I was gonna set my name to Woman Scorpion Tark. I forgot you can't see the name in this game. I was gonna set the name to Woman Scorpion Tark, but there wasn't enough space for that, so it's just Woman Scorpion. Is the lore now that Tark and Tarkus are the same character, and that's why, and Scorpion Tark is a black scorpion because black iron. In big, if you launch in big picture mode, that's really funny. That's what? Why? I'm gonna kill these 2 before I pull the lever for safety. You should play Dark Souls 2. It's really good. I was thinking about it being my favorite of the trilogy. It's definitely not. Dark Souls 1 is still my favorite, which I have learned thoroughly after playing another playthrough of that over the last week. But Dark Souls 2 is a very, very close second. I adore Dark Souls 2, and there are a lot of things I think Dark Souls 2 does significantly better, which, you know, is why I made the Goddess of the Sun mod in the first place, which is what I was playing over the week. I'm thinking about streaming that mod tomorrow, because I did the Ghost Blade mod, or run, that mod a while ago. Other than that, I haven't really showcased the mod on my channel all too much. And since I did the Fire Longsword run, and hopefully I'll be getting that out by the end of this week. I want to do another playthrough of that, and streaming it would be fun, I think. But I also don't know necessarily what I would stream. I guess I could... No, I have an idea. Yeah, I might do a Goddess of the Sun edition stream on Thursday. I meant Thursday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we're finishing this run. But I'm not going to be able to stream next week, so... I'm thinking of doing an extra stream like I did last time I wouldn't be able to stream for a couple weeks. Turn me. Oof. I don't understand why the rocks do so much damage. And we'll be getting the hold on, my brain is functional, I swear. The Chloranthy ring. Earlier than most streams, I guess. Do I come here early? I guess fairly early, but we'll be getting it earlier than most streams, which is nice. Before we even get our weapon. National Tark? Why national? I don't think I get that bit. Ah! that scream was not played up. That actually scared me. Everything's fine. So if you don't want to fight Noshka and buy the ring to get the Black Scorpion Stinger, you can actually kill Tark and then buy it from Malentia. Dark Souls 1 pain sounds. Me too. I mean, what? Who said that? Weird. I should rest. Night Slayer Sorag. Doesn't he wear the same armor? I see. I think the biggest problem with Dark Souls 3 isn't even the fan service. It's that it doesn't... Did I just target onto the moth? It's that it doesn't use the fan service in an interesting way. Right? Dark Souls 2 alludes to things. Dark Souls 3 uses the exact same things for the exact same thing. I know that's a very, very overdone talking point, but it came to mind. I'm gonna have, like, actual health early in the game. That's gonna be weird. I'm not gonna get, like, two-shot by enemies. I'm excited to use the Black Knight. Is it Black Knight Halberd or Black Knight Glaive in this game? I know in Dark Souls 3 it's a Black Knight Glaive. But it's in the chest in that little room right there. I think it does fire damage in this game. I was thinking about making it do fire damage in Goddess of the Sun edition, but I don't know. That felt kind of boring. I guess it would be cool to like differentiate it from the Gargoyle Halberd more in a way that isn't just, you know, better weapon, or the Gargoyle Halberd being better. But I don't know. I don't think fire is a super interesting way to do that, since you can already infuse the Gargoyle Halberd. I don't dislike how Dark Souls 3 looks. I think it has an interesting... It was going for something interesting, but I don't think the way they used the art style was very interesting, if that makes sense. I think the game looks incredible if you increase the saturation. Like, it looks genuinely so good. But it actually feels like it has a unique visual identity and wasn't just going for everything's rotted and gray, you know? But I think without that, it gets stale, I guess. The areas aren't very unique from each other. That guy from Dark Souls 1 is dead now. What, you don't like seeing the piles of demon corpses or the corpse of the giant blacksmith, which is still there for some reason? I think one of my least favorite things about Dark Souls 3 also is that it takes interesting things from the other games and kind of dumbs them down. And the most pertinent example of that, from my recollection, is the Pursuer Great Shield. The description for the Pursuer Great Shield is just like, here's the story in Dark Souls 3, as opposed to like actually being interesting in Dark Souls 2. I don't know. I don't think it's bad. It's just very much different and not what I think not the best they could have done with what they had in Dark Souls 3. I think that's what it is for me. It's just, they could have done better. It's not bad, but they could have done better. I want to heal. I don't know if that's safe. Okay. I guess I could have waited for that, but I wasn't sure how long that was going to be. Come on. There she is. I want to be kind of safe about this. Cool, thank you. Speaking of being safe about it. Drayton is a Dark Souls 3 invader? I didn't actually know that. Come on. Don't be like this. Bad time to stagger, but whatever. I could probably attack more often safely, but I have pretty low health right now, so I don't want to be too greedy. Oh, god damn it. I want to crush a life gem. I feel like that would be a very satisfying experience. I feel like it would be crushing like really soft chalk or something. There we go. A little bit longer than I would have preferred. That's fine. Now we can actually get our weapon, and we have plenty of souls to... Oh wait, it's Twinkling, isn't it? Where do I get Twinkling? Is there one in the Doors of Ferris? I think there is. Do I have a Luckstone? If not, I can get one. I do have a Luckstone. I think I know. I think it's in the chest with the dragon bone. The Bucky's beaver nuggets. I don't want to think about Bucky's beaver nuggets. That doesn't sound particularly enjoyable. Where do I get a raw stone in this game? I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, Cinder. I mean, you see the Fair Lady, like the actual just straight up Fair Lady dead in Dark Souls 3, right? As opposed to the same themes repeating over time. Super long-handled swords. I've noticed that there are a lot in Dark Souls 2. Maybe not straight swords, but like thrusting swords. Most of the thrusting swords have very long handles. The Chaos Rapier and Ricard's Rapier are two very good examples. Do I want this now? Might as well. Not like I'm gonna need these souls soon. Okay. Then I can put the Ring of Fingers on. Oh my god. If I can remember how to use the menu. Okay. Go back here to here. Hornet Needle, yeah. There was a mod to add the Hornet Needle to a game. Oh yeah, it was Atlas. I was looking at Atlas mods, and one of them added Hornet's Needle as a weapon. It wasn't good. I think the idea was that you use it for PvP, but it was really weird in the art style. I love the Guardian Sword Spear. That's my favorite weapon, aesthetically and to use in Elden Ring. Thank you. Was that the weapon? Actually, I wasn't paying attention. No. Why didn't you give me the weapon? What do you need to do to get the stinger? I thought you just beat Najka. Where are you going? Come here. I mean, it's a sword spear, right? It's not a... like, it would make sense to have thrusts on the moveset, but I think it being swung more than... Oh my god! More than... poked. Makes sense. Especially in the context of the video game, right? I don't know, I'm struggling with a random ghost so much. There we go. So I need to, like, quit out and then load back in. Dark Souls 1 moment. After you kill Freya? I might fight Tark, after all. I could have swore it was Najka. No, if he doesn't give it to me here, I'll fight him. And just buy it from Malentia. Okay, well. This in Manslayer? I don't think I know what the Manslayer is. Someone on the wiki said that Tark is as difficult as an early game boss, and I don't know that I agree. After fighting him for about 2 seconds. Can you get his halberd? Because if not, that is tragic. Poison katana. Oh, right, yeah. Whoa! Whoa! Ouch. I didn't think Dark Souls 2 had a, I pick up a thing and it does damage to you attack, but there we go. Hello, Flatcap, welcome. Don't worry, I don't even have the weapon yet, because I was misinformed on how to get the weapon. Ouch. A step below a Steam community forum comments, yeah. Okay. Well, I did kind of waste money on the... I did kind of waste souls on the ring, but that's okay. The Dancing Lion Classic. Also the... I don't remember what they're called. The guys in Dark Souls 3 in the DLC. Okay. Weapon acquired, actually, this time. Poison is actually good in this game, yeah. It is a very nice thing to actually be good. Okay, in Goddess of the Sun edition, I tried to make poison more like Dark Souls 2 poison. I'm not sure how much I succeeded. In that it does a lot more damage over a much shorter time. Or it does less damage overall, but it's over a much shorter time. So it's like actually usable in shorter fight contexts, as opposed to just being a very long, or just very, very slow damage over time. That might help if the fight is long enough. I don't remember where you find the Manslayer, personally. From when I ran the... I think the worst thing about fire breathing in Elden Ring specifically is just that the fire ricochets. Come on. Oh my god. Like the fire hitting a wall and then bouncing and hitting you anyway. That's, You can get normal smithing stones fairly quickly. If you can get the 1 and 2s from the bell bearing, and then the 3s from a couple of the random like gazebos in Liurnia. And then you grab the 4s in, what's it called? Sorry, my brain is not functioning. In the ruin-strewn precipice. And then you can get the bell bearing for 3s and 4s in the sealed tunnel. And then that'll also get you a bunch of 5s. Actually, since I'm here, I might as well grab this bonfire. And then by that point, you know, getting through Morgott is fairly easy. And then on top of the giants gives you the bell bearing for 5s and 6s. And then you can find 7s and 8s fairly easily from there, especially if you do Ranni's quest. So you're kind of forced to like go through the game a little bit more intentionally. And to make the entire remainder of the damage over time happen instantly, that's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna upgrade this. I'm gonna get the 2... Actually, I should get the 2 in the Shaded Woods now. And then we can get 3 from the random pursuers. There's 1 pursuer there, there's 1 behind. Okay, yeah. I'll get the 2 here. Yeah, Elden Ring is weird like that. It doesn't feel balanced properly. I don't know. Last time I did fight with the Rotten with a +2. Where do I get a raw stone? If anyone knows off the top of their head. Is there a guaranteed one anywhere easy to get? Oh, that killed me? Damn. I don't think it's difficult to upgrade a standard weapon in Elden Ring, but it takes... Or, I don't know that it takes significantly more time, but... Jesus. Overall, I don't know that it takes significantly more time to upgrade a standard weapon in Elden Ring, but in the early game it absolutely does because of a lot of the other... Or because a lot of the placements for 5s and 6s. Once you get to the plateau in Liurnia, you can get enough 7s and 8s, but... Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean, the easiest +7 to get for sure is in Volcano Manor, right? And once you get that, you have a +9 pretty much instantly. I don't like stuff instantly becoming viable. That feels, I don't know, it just kind of removes an entire element of progression that I don't like. I think the bell bearings are spread out a little too thin. Because the first two are extremely easy to get. Where am I going? The first two are extremely easy to get, and then the third and fourth are like way, way later. But there's one in Harvest Valley. Okay, that's fairly easy to get to, I guess. The problem with it in Dark Souls 1, though, is you kind of need to know where things are. Like, you're not gonna know to trade moss for Twinkling, right? And if you don't find the Great Hollow, the first place you're gonna be able to max out a Twinkling weapon is in Orlando, which I think is perfectly far into the game. I'm gonna go through here. I forgot there was the Somber in Mogun Palace. That's true. I don't like Various Quest though. I try to avoid it as much as I can. Yeah, Dark Souls 2 gives you more than enough upgrade material. Jesus, words are not coming to mind right now. Dark Souls 2 gives you more than enough upgrade material to like upgrade multiple weapons. Dark Souls 1, less so. You can buy normal and large Titanite shards, but not being able to get chunks infinitely until the kiln is pretty annoying. Oh, that's kind of what I tried to do in Goddess of the Sun Edition, especially also trying to make other upgrade materials viable, like green Titanite, and then like the blue and red chunks and whatever. I think Dark Souls 2 has two methods of upgrading weapon damage in the same way where, like... No, I think that's... Okay, Dark Souls 2, you upgrade your weapon extremely quickly, but then you scale it extremely slowly, right? In that most of your damage scaling is going to come from buff levels rather than just like normal scaling levels, and you're going to be upgrading your buff levels and changing infusions and stuff throughout the entire game if you're playing casually, right? As opposed to Dark Souls 1, where you get your weapon, you get it fully upgraded, and you kind of hit the scaling cap around the same time. Remember if you ever get viable petrified dragon bones? I know you get a few from what's her name? From the Chloanne, I think her name is. but I think it's only 3. The dark rates? Yeah, the dark rates in New Lander do drop chunks. I forgot about that. It's more so that you don't get easily obtainable chunks until the kiln. Because you're not able to buy them at all. I think the giant blacksmith selling chunks would have worked well for like 10k each or something. Maybe not that high, but you know. Yeah. If you have like Gold Serpent and 10 Humanity, it doesn't take too long to get like 6 chunks or whatever, 7 chunks, whatever you need to get a maxed out weapon in Dark Souls 1, but it is annoying that you have to farm for it. Because like the fact that you can farm for large shards, oh, excuse me, basically immediately, but then you can buy them after, you know, not even the first half of the game, but you can't easily get chunks until late game. It's really annoying. Are there any merchants that you need to get the Lord Vessel for? I don't think so, right? Not off the top of my head, anyway. I can't think of any. Oh, I guess, like, spell merchants like Logan or whatever. But I don't think there are any normal merchants post. Well, even then, I guess you can talk to him before that. There's a cat on your desk. That's awesome. I wish there was a cat on my desk. I have a short of getting 2 chunks in a, or 2 slabs in a row, which was very funny. I don't think I had any humanity on me or anything. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched that short, but it was the one. There's the one behind the illusory wall that's guarding a chunk, and then there's the one on the staircase right before it, and both of them dropped slabs on the same walkthrough. Miss Nida's? Yeah. Wait, you have to kill Nida? Oh yeah, I guess you do, huh? Yeah. Holy streamer, like, that's the only time anything like that has happened. There have been, like, weird, unlikely glitches or whatever, like, the Iron Golem landing on top of his invisible wall, right? A thumb? But you need your thumb to play Dark Souls. Don't worry, you can keep it. Hello, Arachnid, welcome. There's a Twinkling Titanite from Macduff's Workshop, and then there's the one from the Pursuer immediately after the Ruin Sentinels. Non-functional barrel. We love to see it. And this is why I usually... Did I grab the fire arrows? Well, this is why I grabbed the fire longsword. That's not the fire longsword. Okay. I was kind of scared that wouldn't actually blow up the wall. I'm glad it did. Large club on the first try. Is the large club? What's the drop chance for the large club? Isn't it like 2%? It might be 1% actually, knowing Dark Souls 1 drop rates. I think the 2 Titanite slabs in a row was, I think each one is like 0.4% or something. It was like 0.002 or 0.02% or something like that. I don't know. It was a very, 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 very low chance, and I've only seen it once ever. And I have, you know, like 1,500 hours in Dark Souls 1. Pretty sure it's 2. Okay. I'm gonna actually go level up a bit, because I have a bunch of souls. Or like Ghostblade, yeah. Ugh. From 2 enemies in the entire game, by the way. I'm gonna look through the raw stones and see which one is gonna be easiest to get. If I can menu with one hand, that would be cool. I know I can farm for them from Bugsy. Bugsy? Um... Lizard, Doors of Ferris. There's a crystal lizard in the Doors of Ferris? Huh. First Dark Magic Giant. Oh, that one. The area between Germ's Respite and Royal Army Campsite. Oh, but that crystal lizard sucks. I'll just go to Harvest Valley. I guess that's probably going to be the easiest one to get. I'm also going to burn this before I forget to. Brion. I think putting the Ghost Blade as a static drop was one of my best choices in Goddess Edition edition. You can still get another one, but I don't know why you would. Okay, gonna get 5 more ADP. And a bunch of Vigor. And a bunch of Endurance. Dark Souls 2 Peak Souls? True. I guess I can also get... There is Twinkling Titanite in Harvest Valley, isn't there? I want to fight Rune Sentinels, though. I like Rune Sentinels. This is gel ant farms? Huh. I don't think I've ever experienced the texture of a gel ant farm, actually. I need to... God, there's so much I want to talk about with Dark Souls 2, and I feel like it would be very difficult to put it all into one video, because, like, there's that, you know, 12-hour video or whatever that I want to make. Just going through all of Dark Souls 2 and carefully going through every single level and talking about it as I go through and everything. But I feel like there's so much that I would want to talk about more elaborately. Like, the way Dark Souls 2 uses verticality is something that I would want to talk about in a more scripted way, as opposed to just, like, as it comes up as I play the game, you know? But... I don't know. I feel like scripting a video like that would be incredibly overwhelming with how much I want to talk about in this game. I thought about that because of the weird shortcut here. I've always wanted to make a Dark Souls 2 retrospective, I guess is the closest word I can think of. Review, critique, something like that. But it's always felt like such an overwhelming project that I've never even thought about starting it. But there's just so much I want to talk about in Dark Souls 2. More spice, more glitter. You'll do less damage, but that's okay. Is there any downside to spicing down weapon buffs at all? Yeah, God, I've also been working on that Sonic 06 video for months. Actually, over a year at this point, I think. And I am on level 6 of Sonic Story, which is, you know, like... How far into the game is that? Not even a third of the way through the game since 3 stories. And I want to finish that video so bad. I have so much to talk about in that game, but I just... I don't even know where to go from here. Wait, why are the other two? Huh? Oh, Yahim died. I didn't know Yahim died. Did it die from fall damage? Only have minimum duration? Yeah, that's true. No, Project 06 is awful. How dare you say that in my chats? I genuinely despise Project 06. It ruined so much of what I adore about Sonic 06. And that... I could actually talk about how much I hate Project 06 about... Oh my god, for hours, right? Me when I don't like the Sonic game, but pretend like I think the Sonic game had potential. So I completely change everything about the Sonic game and ruin what it had that was going good for it anyway. Dang, I hardly know her. Like we're playing Devil May Cry 2 all over again. Yeah, I've listened to Matthew Matosis's Dark Souls 1 commentary several times over. I've played original 06 on console and emulator. Obviously, emulator is a better experience, but I think on console is just fine. The loading is... Wait, what? I am not where I thought I was. What? Okay, I didn't know that was there. And I also don't know what the point of that is. Is it just like there are random illusory walls that don't have anything behind them? I didn't know that. What's this? I would have cried if that was a mimic. Okay. Anyway. Sonic 06, I think, has the best level design of any game I've ever played, full stop, which is the main thing I want to talk about. And then Project 06, with the way that it changes how characters move and work, completely destroys the level design. So, like, it might be more fun to move around as Silver, but it's significantly less fun to just play through his levels. You can just ignore entire levels as every character. It's so awful. Just a mess of a game. I think Sonic Adventure 2 is a lot worse. Like, obviously 06 has glitches, but Adventure 2 has just as many, and they're much more game-breaking in my experience. I never, like, fell through the floor and died completely outside of any control, doing the exact thing that the game intended me to do in that moment in Sonic 06. That only happened in Adventure 2, so... Can you stop exploding? Jesus. Game is just kind of ass. Huh? It has the second best characterization of Sonic in the series, in my opinion. It has some of the best animation for the characters. The best characterization of Tails by far. I love Tails in Sonic 06. It has playable Blaze, which is just peak as fuck. Which... Project 06 allowing Blaze to dash and double jump without touching the ground, genuinely awful. Maybe the worst change they made. Anyway. To say something about exploding. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of really good Sonic games. Like, obviously, you know, Colors came out in, like, 2010 or whatever. But it was a 2D Sonic game or whatever, but I don't know. Still fun. Generations also came out around that time, which was also widely loved, which is maybe my least favorite popular Sonic game. A lot of people liked Unleashed, which I didn't. Unleashed is really good, but normal Unleashed, like 360, PS3 Unleashed, is kind of awful. I love Black Knight. Most people that I know who have played Black Knight love it as well. Alright, okay, I'm going this way. The childhood is what carries the adventure games for you. I get that, but I've never been super into the Chow Garden. I tried, but it didn't really work for me. I don't know. I just couldn't get super into it personally. It felt tedious more than anything. I think Generations had potential, but... I mean, Shadow Generations is fairly loved. I like Frontiers a lot. Frontiers was really fun. I think Frontiers is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I really love Frontiers. No, I lied. Sonic Unleashed 360 is actually full stop my least favorite Sonic game. I forgot how much I despise Unleashed. The day levels are simply atrocious. Some of the worst level design in any Sonic game. It's all trial and error. It's incredibly boring to even try and memorize for the trial and error. There's nothing interesting about most of the levels. There's some cool ideas in some levels. I love Dragon Road. But like Rooftop Run is incredibly boring. Windmill Isle had some good ideas, but it's also fairly boring. I don't know. Uh, 06 definitely has my favorite video game OST of all time. Like, not even just Sonic. I love the Sonic 06 OST. I'm a very big fan of symphonic rock. I feel like most people liked Shadow Generations in my experience. It is very slow. Going back to Shadow Generations after playing Sonic 06 and then Sonic Heroes immediately after felt awful. Heroes is another really good one. You seen this co-op mod? I am very excited. There's a lot of people. There's like probably 6 different playthroughs that I want to do in Dark Souls 2 Seamless. I love doing that jump. I was bestowed with make a build that kills the final boss in 2 hits. Yeah. Heroes is good. If you cherry pick it, what? I think I was too early. What do you mean? Heroes is so good. I don't know. I'm one of the freaks who likes Team Chaotix or whatever the name is. I think the way that it goes about changing how you engage with the level design is really interesting. I guess if you're going for A rank on every single one of the random side missions, it can get a little tedious, but I think that's true of every Sonic game. That's not true. I fucking loved getting all the S ranks on the hard modes in 06, so. I think just playing through the game casually, Heroes is very, very good. Why do I have that equipped? Wow, the one-handed moveset for this takes no stamina. That's kind of crazy, actually. Hedgehog of War? Once again, until you got me to play God of War, I did not understand how similar Unleashed Night Levels. That's really hard to play. To say. Oh my god. Hold on. Mental reset. I did not realize how similar Unleashed's Night Levels were to God of War until you got me to play the God of War games. There we go. That was difficult to say. You liked S-ranking Sonic Frontiers? I think... I wish a lot more of the levels were as difficult as 1, 2, but yeah, I did enjoy that. I loved the DLC in Frontiers. It was so awful in a super fun way. Like, Tails just being able to fly forever is so funny and completely ruins most of the exploration. But there's still, like, a lot of the platforming challenges and stuff that you have to do, like, fairly normally, right? And then I think playing as Amy was super fun. Knuckles was a little janky, but I thought it was fun. I liked the DLC. Definitely not something that I want to go back to a bunch, but I think I played hard mode and I got stuck on one of the final like combat challenges of Sonic. But I never ended up finishing it, but I really liked what I played. I have a huge Sonic Frontier script like done, and I just cannot bring myself to make that video. Yeah, that is true. You do need to stay on the ground for it. But, like, figuring out that routing was really fun. I wish more levels did that in terms of having a difficult time trial rather than easily beating it by 10 seconds for every single level on my very first attempt of the level, you know? I feel like I'm doing Huntsman's Cops fairly early for one of these streams. What time is it? I want to try and get through the base game today, but we'll see how that goes. Pardon. If I get through the base game today, then I'll do most DLC bosses. But I don't want to do Ivory King. I probably won't do Ivory King. But we'll see how tomorrow goes. And how far I get today. My second channel has been neglected for a while because I just haven't been playing many Sonic games. And I don't want to do too much on that channel until after I finish the Sonic 06 video, which is going to be a while. There's been some stuff I wanted to do for the second channel, but just haven't got around to yet. Oh, right. I was going to grab the Leo ring, too. I'll do that after I upgrade this to +5. I could probably get through Ornstein now fairly easily, but... I really want to make Dark Souls 2 Goddess of the Sun Edition, but I don't want to do that until after I've played a lot more of Dark Souls 2. Because, especially proportionally, I've barely played any Dark Souls 2 compared to Dark Souls 1. Like how much Dark Souls 1 I played by the time I made that mod. I think the Blossom Kite Shield, or whatever it's called in this game, giving you extra stamina regen, is like on the top of that list of things of changes I want to make. For Dark Souls 2 Goddess of the Sun Edition. I want to make all boss weapons buffable as well. That's another big one. I think it'd be fun to add something like Power Within to Dark Souls 2, because that's not really like a thing. So you would be able to do some pretty silly damage with that, so in terms of balancing, I don't know if that's a good idea, but I don't think Dark Souls 1 Goddess of the Sun Edition is particularly well balanced either. I don't know. I think that'll be a fun thing to do. But it's going to be a while before I make it, because I want significantly more experience with Dark Souls 2 than I have right now. Ow. Rude. Hey, whoa, wait. Why are you up here? It's fine. Do I care about the Engraved Gauntlets? Probably not. Probably not. I guess there's not really much reason for me to not get them, though. I don't know, I might... Ah! Oh my goodness. I got mollered. I might get the Engraved Gauntlets between streams. Depending on how the damage is later in the base game. I think once I see what the damage is like on, like, Velstadt, I'll be able to put together... Or I'll be able to determine if I want to get the Engraved Gauntlets and whatever. And if I want to use Dark Weapon and stuff. I should be fine to just run past now, though. Since the bridge is already down and everything. I love those guys. Oh my goodness. Pardon me. I should probably use an effigy. No, it's fine. Is there another guy chasing me? Yes, but they're fairly far behind. I should be fine. This archer. If I were to do no-hit runs of Dark Souls 2, I think this archer would kill every single one of them. I don't think I've ever gotten through here without getting hit by this archer. I don't know what it is, but that one always gets me. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. I guess I usually go up to where the Undead Lockaway key is anyway, so that I can jump over this and not have to worry about that archer. I don't think these guys should be that difficult. That is kind of low damage. They might be resistant to rust damage. I couldn't remember what it was called in this game. Ow. That does feel resistant to thrust. Where? Ah! One wheels aren't very dangerous in this game, but sometimes they get you. Apparently. That might be a first. Oh, that is not a lot of damage for these guys. I'm gonna be a little bit careful about this. I guess 2 hits on the small skeletons isn't that bad. Where do you thrust? The bones. Skulls are relatively large targets, all things considered. Not difficult. It's the Skeleton Lords, but significantly lower damage than I expected still. I'm sure they would die if you poked their clothes enough too, right? From being devastated about their clothes being torn up after so long of them being relatively usable as clothes. At least that's my best explanation for the hitboxes on those guys. I hope that actually came off as a joke. What? At risk? Huh? I did not consider this as a possibility. Hold on. Everything's fine. I might need to grab the bracing knuckle ring instead of the old Leo ring. What are you doing? Where do you get the bracing knuckle rings? I know where the +2 is. That's in the crypt. But I don't know where the other ones are. A comfort sweater. The shirt I'm wearing right now is my autism shirt. And if it got torn up, I would be very, very sad because I don't know where I'd get another one. Let me Google this. Dark Souls 2 bracing knuckle ring. Last bestie, if you Salt Fort, Bonfire, and Sunrise Rise, go down the ladder and take an immediate left, and across the bridge and into the doorway at the other end. Oh, okay. Go through the door, do the back. Okay, it's where the pursuer behind the two illusory walls is. That's pretty easy to get. Though I don't think Extra's explanation as to where it is very good. That's pretty normal. Hello, Krista. Welcome. She doesn't sell Twinkling Titanite until after you get the King's Ring, right? I'm fairly certain. Yeah, okay. And then there was something I wanted in here. In the... Oh, excuse me, in the chest down here. Gonna be careful about dying to poison. Hello. Hey, whoa, hey! Calm down. Oh my god. Gonna die to the skeleton before I die to poison. Yeah, no, wait, what was it? That might... It was a raw stone. I bet the wiki was talking about in... Oh, it might be this one. I don't think this is a mimic. Okay. There it is. Okay, good. The Shadow Tree Avatar? Yeah, I love the Shadow Tree Avatar. I've never understood why people hate it so much. I think it's really fun. It's my Girona. Yeah, the phase 3 explosion attack. For sure, one of the best moments of Elden Ring. It's my Girona. And he says, your dad's my best friend when he kills you. It's really far into the game, yeah. Is the earliest one you can encounter the one in Brightstone Cove? At the Soldier's Rest bonfire? Or not Soldier's Rest, but the encampment there? Gladys. My Shadowrona. Yes. Okay, and infuse with raw. And that gives us significantly more damage. Is AR reflected when two-handing? Oops. Come on. 319. 319. Does two-handing actually change my damage here? We got 256. I guess that might be a effigy. I want to make sure before I end up just wasting stamina for no reason. Huh. 307. Okay, yeah, it does significantly. There's another DLC for alternating the base of the Shadow Tree would be a great place to activate it. Yeah, I agree. I wish that whole area had something more. Like, after Gaius, you had the Shadow View area. Okay, I guess I want to go to the DLC. I want to go to Shulva now, so... Down the pit. I can get Flynn's ring and whatever. Actually, no. It's probably a good idea to get the Bracing Knuckle ring first. Wonder by Stone Cove is the earliest, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I can't think of any others that early. I know there's a couple in like Dragonlight Castle. I don't know, this game doesn't have that many mimics off the top of my head. Hope you have a good lunch, Coley. Thank you for being here while you could. I need to upgrade my Estus. I always forget. I guess there are there's a shard in the gutter that I'm gonna grab too. And the Sublime Bone Dust on the way down there. I really like the look of the Scorpion Stinger. I feel like two-handing it doesn't make much sense. But I think the way it's held is pretty cool. The only one that punishes you for hitting chests, yeah. Which I think is very, very cool most of the time. And then there's, you know, that random guy. Okay, this one did get activated this time for some reason. There's that random ghost that can just roll and obliterate your chest for no reason. That has the trunk in it in the Shaded Woods. Godwin-based DLC? Yeah, I feel like Godwin is fairly underutilized, huh? Doesn't he show up in one of the random dungeons, too? In the DLC, I mean. I feel like he shows up in a few dungeons in the base game. Okay. I think it's this item. No. It's this one, I think. Yeah, there we go. I guess I'm not gonna put that on quite yet. The Soul series went a lot into religion, but I guess Elden Ring does too, but in a different way. I think it's more like, I don't know, I guess I haven't looked into Elden Ring lore too much, but for me, what am I doing? It feels like Elden Ring treats religion as a symptom of, like, other societal things, as opposed to Dark Souls, which treats religion as a thing that has effects of its own, right? While in Elden Ring, religion is a symptom, other than the cause of a lot of things. I don't know if that makes sense in terms of the wider scope of Elden Ring lore, but from what I've seen, that's kind of the vibe I've gotten. Thank you. I should go kill... No, I want to go down here first. I want to get a +5. I said I was going to get a +5 before I fight Ornstein. I don't have ADHD. What are you talking about? I did drink caffeine, which helps a little bit. Probably. Okay. Here we go. But primarily as a tool for oppression, yeah. A tool of the societal norms rather than a force of its own. I think Dark Souls lore is a little bit more nuanced with like societal norms and religion and symptoms and causes of different modes of oppression than Elden Ring. Hello, S. Welcome. We're using a thrusting weapon today. I know you like those. I don't think I ever did anything with the Horn Scent in terms of like looking into the lore or doing anything with their quests or anything. Or a quest that involved them. If there is one, even. Which are the... I'm trying to think which of the Dark Souls games is the most, like, critical of religion. Probably Dark Souls 2. Maybe Dark Souls 1? I guess Dark Souls 3 is a lot too, though. I don't know. I think Dark Souls 3's use of religion is the least interesting, though, which is unfortunate. Because of how much potential it had with all of its different pieces of religion. In terms of, like, the deacons and... what's his name? the pontiff and everything. Which is, you know, explicitly a religious thing. But it's just kind of, I don't know, stated and not used interestingly in the same way it is in Dark Souls 1 especially. I think Dark Souls 1 has the most interesting use of religion, its lore. Super falls on trope, yeah, exactly. I think Dark Souls 1 is a lot more nuanced about it, but it's still almost exclusively critical of religion. But it's also critical of criticizing religion. I don't know, I guess a little bit with Patches is what I was going with there. He's definitely criticized by the game because of his hatred of specific groups, you know? But it is a lot more nuanced and a lot more interesting with how it uses religion, especially with characters like Rhea. Okay, let's see if I can remember how to navigate my way through here. Where is this? Okay, well, if I could land an attack, that would be nice. Prisoner status. Petrus. Ugh. Confidence. Okay, this goes somewhere. Is this where I think it is? Ugh, I never remember where this is. Okay, yeah. This is exactly where I thought it was. Everything's fine. Where I wanted to be. Can I get estrogen injections? Hell yeah. I would do injections, but I hate needles. I can't do needles, especially on my own. So I do it sublingually. Good luck with that, and I hope it goes well. Hope you meet your transition goals. This thing was good once and was corrupted. Yeah. Gwyn and Marika. Both are gods born of an ancient society that ended up breaking and overthrowing the old order of the world. Yeah. I think... Because there are different, like, modes of religion, right? You have the Way of White, which is, you know, kind of explicitly more Western religions. And then you have stuff like Gwyn, who feels more Eastern, I guess. Or the stuff around Gwyn and Gwendolyn and whatever feels a lot more Eastern. In my admittedly limited view of religions. America's tired, yeah. Doing it yourself is easier. Yeah, I absolutely would not be the same, unfortunately. I don't know what it is about needles specifically that freak me out so much, but because I like blood play, but I don't like needles. Yeah, I've been doing sublingual for 3 years and it's been going very well. Ouch. Okay, I avoided getting poisoned. Oh yeah. Wow, shocker. I didn't know I was into it for a while. I don't know if I should explain the story. How I figured that out on stream, actually. I was going through, but... Exploitation? No, actually, I hate it. I think it's... I don't know. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. And I don't like Fallout New Vegas. Or Armored Core, so... Don't worry, being tired is very normal here. I do that most of the time. Ouch. Yeah, I think Armored Core is a really interesting series, but it's really not for me, unfortunately. New Vegas, I think, is incredibly boring and overrated, and doesn't do anything particularly interesting. Much like Skyrim, actually. The Mountain Goats? I don't... Are you referring to, like... I don't know, that sounds like a band title. But unless you're talking about the actual animal, I don't think I know what you're referring to. Yeah, I've never heard of that band. Oof. Ouch. The only, like, stereotypical trans woman music that I know of, there's, like, Fentanyl, and there's, like, 100 gecs, and that's it. And I haven't heard any of their music except for a little bit of Fentanyl that I really did not like. I am not a fan of hyperpop. Sad dad rock. That checks out. I like Soundgarden. No, that's not true. I like a little bit of Soundgarden. I like Ween. Ween is fucking awesome. But... I don't know. Really breaking the mold. Don't worry, I was a programmer once upon a time. I like Mother Mother. It's a good band. I don't know. I'm the kind of trans woman who makes my own music, but it's not hyperpop, so... I did go through the programmer socks phase, but I also was I guess I am technically still a programmer. I program occasionally because I want to make games, but I've been kind of disillusioned with the whole process because I'm awful at level design. I guess I should light the bonfire. Roasting is a good song. Arms Tonight is also a very good song. I don't know. I definitely listened to them a lot more when I first transitioned, when I was, you know, bad girl stereotype, but they're still very much a good band. Body is also really good. I think that's the name of the song. But, I don't know. I've recently ended up liking a lot more, like, indie. Like, God, I mean... The Family Crest is my favorite band of all time, full stop. And I adore all of their music. That's taught you so much about level design, yeah. Level design is something that I've never been able to get a handle on, and I've tried so much. Instrumentals are boring? I heavily disagree. I love instrumentals. I think it can do so much with seemingly so little, and that makes it super interesting to me. Like, obviously, I've been using or making instrumentals for a long time. That gives me a lot of insight in that way, but um, I've heard some absolutely crazy instrumentals that tell a story of their own. I don't run Linux. I used to use Linux, and then I realized that so many of the things that I use, almost everything that I use, just runs worse on Linux. Ended up stopping. I wish I could use Linux more, but it's just so much more tedious than it's worth right now. Once ASIO for all gets a Linux version, then I'll think about it. I think poetry accompanied by instruments and poetry with instruments are two very different things, and I think they're both wonderful kinds of music. A third one, huh? Ow. I should be able to poison them. Oh wait, no. Actually, I think being raw reduces the poison buildup pretty significantly, right? Oh, there's a poison. And now I wait. And he should die from the poison, I'm pretty sure. If not, it'll be very close. That is true, I agree, Amber. There we go. Close one. I think video game soundtracks are the most interesting use, for the most part, of instrumental music, but I think instrumental music can be so many different things. Is bass guitar a trans stereotype? I don't know if it's a stereotype, but I do know a lot of trans women who play bass. So. Yeah, Toby Fox is a good example. I think one of my first examples of a soundtrack that was just like, I don't know, transcended the medium, I think, that I heard personally was Skyward Sword. The Skyward Sword soundtrack is incredible. One of my favorites. Black Knife. Black Knife is one of my least favorites from that soundtrack. But there are a lot of really good, very, very, very good songs in the Deltarune soundtrack. I think Black Knife is good. It's just not exactly one of my favorites. I think Hammer of Justice is up there. In terms of like purely instrumental songs, Hammer of Justice is probably my favorite. But Flower Man. I don't know if it's recency bias, but Flower Man, so good. Technically has lyrics, but you know. Angry sounding music? I mean, I like some. I'm a fan of metalcore. I'm not as big of a fan of metalcore as I used to be, but I'm just not a very angry person anymore. In terms of the Dark Souls trilogy, I think Dark Souls 2 has the best soundtrack. I think Demon Souls is better in a lot of ways, but I don't know. Like, there's the obvious ones. There's Majula, there's the Firekeepers, whatever, but I think a lot of the boss soundtracks fit. I mean, Smelter is obviously a really good example, but a lot of the boss soundtracks from Dark Souls 2 fit the bosses very, very well. I think for me, I listened to a lot of very angry, very sad music when I was angry and sad, and I still do. So when I'm feeling good, it feels weird to listen to that kind of music personally. Sekiro? I'm not big on Sekiro for whatever reason. Rolanas Fire Sword looks like Fume Knight Sword a little. You know, now that you mention it, yeah, I think so. Rolanas Twin Swords is just the Dancer Swords all over again. Am I a real woman? I am. I am a real woman, actually, yes. What makes you think that I might not be a real woman? I don't even know how to do a man voice anymore. Mitski? I don't think I recognize that name, but I don't think I know any of the music. I'm gonna burn my Sublime Bone Dust. What is that shield? Huh? I've never seen that before. Does anyone know what shield that is? Effigy shield? Where do you get that? The vessel shield. I have conflicting answers. An imaginary woman? Arguably. Kelsey. Vessel? Okay. Arguably, one of my headmates is an imaginary woman, but she's not imaginary anymore. So, just that boosts. Schrodinger's woman. Thank you for the clarification. It looks cool. I feel like I should use shields in this game more often, but I just don't. Jesus. True, I do only exist in most of your screens. I feel like it's not that hard to get me to exist not only on your screen though. It's weird how many people I've like met through like just making content. Like other YouTubers, but there are a lot of people who I've just started talking to because they saw something I made. And we just became really good close friends. Like the Windfish? Like Marin? Marin? Marin. I think that's her. Before Alsana's room. Oh, it's like the one in that chest that you can see from talking to Alsana, right? I'll have to check it out. Tomato, tomato. Do I have arrows? I don't think I have arrows. This might be an issue, actually. Do I have arrows? Oh, I need to go buy arrows. Yeah. Even in Night Rain, like when I'm playing Guardian, I'll two-hand the halberd most of the time. I always throw knives. That's harder to aim. And I'm bad at the game, so... Do I even have any? I have 3. Technically, that's enough.
I'll be around.
Okay. Disc Chime and Sanctus Shield. In terms of damage output, yeah, the Disc Chime is really fun. I don't think I've anyone heard... What? Jesus Christ. I can talk, I swear. I don't think I've heard anyone say that the Sanctum Shield is good, but I haven't really, like, looked into it. I'm gonna put on Bracing Knuckle. Tomato and tomato, tomato. Yeah. I like intentionally misreading it because I think it's funny. I don't know if it's obvious, but when I make jokes, 100% of the time they're for myself. If a joke of mine doesn't make me laugh, then I probably won't end up making it. The Watcher Shield? Doesn't the Disc Chime also do that? Okay, so there's 3 here. Then I need 5 more, and I think there are 5 in the first chest in the Sanctum. I'll grab Flynn's ring and then get the bonfire. The one that I used to not ever get. Pardon me. The most broken weapon in PvP for many reasons. That's really funny. As someone who is not a big fan of PvP, I feel like a lot of people would enjoy that. Not on this website. Maybe during the drunk stream. Exclusively on accident, of course. I don't think YouTube allows for that kind of stream. True. Unfortunately. Dark Souls 3 has serviceable PvP. Believe it or not. Dark Souls 3 has my least favorite. Oof! I don't know if you can parry that. Dark Souls 3 is probably my least favorite PvP of the series. 100 block rating, high damage, and it can cast spells and miracles. Awesome. I might have to do a video run with that instead of a stream. I didn't know it could cast any spells at all. Players take it too seriously? Yeah, that's definitely part of the problem for sure. Wait, where's the thing? Right there. Come here, please. Thank you. Oof. I'm gonna try to not get poisoned. Okay, well, I'm not doing a very good job of that. Hey, no. The invaders sucked. Yeah. I also like how backstabs work in Dark Souls 1. It's like a mechanic you can take advantage of, right? I don't know about in PvP. I've never really gone hard into the backstab meta in PvP of Dark Souls 1, but in terms of, you know, just the vibe of the game itself. I talk about Dark Souls 1's weird little quirks that most people dislike, that I actually like a lot, in the Fire Longsword video. I wrote it. I just need to record the... I've also done the run. I just need to record the... That was very early. I just need to record the voiceover and edit that, and hopefully I'll be able to get that out at the end of this week. The back punch backstab. I should have enough twinkling. Yeah, I think so. The kick through. I am glad that I did not forget, or that I'm glad I didn't take the cat ring off. I think in Dark Souls 1, backstab fishing is easy and safe, but it's also a very slow way to get through enemies. And for the most part, just attacking enemies normally is much faster. And I think that's an interesting way. I don't know that it was intentional or, you know, anything, but I think that's an interesting balance. Especially after, you know, having 1,500 hours in the game. Pardon me. I wonder if I can get the Dragon Stone. Not right now. I'll get that later. $8 million frames to parry in Dark Souls 1. Back to Majula, upgrade this, go fight Dragon Slayer, and then we'll start fighting the lords. People just falling on their butts for 10 minutes, yeah. Oh, you said seconds. 10 minutes is funnier, though. So I'm gonna pretend I read it correctly. Okay, there we go. Maxed out weapon. It's raw. I have Flynn's ring. So that's our AR for most of the run. Oops. We'll see if I end up getting, Why are you talking to me still? I'm so far away. We'll see if I end up getting the... I guess I don't want the Leo ring, actually. I do want to fight the Dragon Slayer eventually, though. See if I end up getting, the Ring of Blades +2. I don't know why I'm struggling so much today. I hope the R2 staggers Haid Knights. If not, this is going to be much more difficult than it needs to be. Looks like it. I think the thing with, like, usable enemies in Dark Souls 1 with backstab fishing or whatever is, in terms of PvE, because I don't care about PvP, is that Dark Souls 2 and 3 have the same amount of cheeseable enemies. It's just the way that you commit the cheese is different. Like, Haid Knights are very much, you know, you just press R2 a couple times and they die, you know? Yeah. And they just can't do much about that. And it's not like critical enemies are that hard to backstab fish in this game either. Including Haid Knights. We just need to wait for a specific attack. Commit the cheese. Yeah, it is a crime. According to some people, anyway. You're not actually good at the game, you're just cheesing all the enemies. Yeah, backstab animations in Dark Souls 2 are really good. Nerf lightning spheres. I never experienced them. I feel like I should play like 1.0 Dark Souls 2 at some point, but we'll see if I do. I want to do 1.0 Dark Souls 1 at some point as well. I don't know. That would require me emulating it, though. Unless there's like a mod. Actually... is there a mod that changes Dark Souls 1 to be like 1.0? Because if not, that might be something worth doing. Lactose intolerant thinking. There we go. People say the spear one is the hardest, but you can just backstab it after that jump attack extremely easily, so I've never understood why that one is considered harder than the other Haid Knights. I've always found the sword ones much, much more difficult to deal with. Dark Orb? Like in PvP specifically? I remember Dark Orb being kind of underwhelming in PvE at least. Wow, this is with Bracing Knuckle. That's a lot of durability damage, actually. No mod? That's surprising. I mean, in terms of, like, balance, though. For Dark Souls 1 specifically, I don't know if I said that. Dark Orb is the best spell in the game? Huh. It did feel very underwhelming, personally. Sorry about that, Targray. I want your pants. Eventually I'll use the Blue Knight Halberd. That's another one that seems interesting. with how early you can get it and how good it seems for how early you can get it. Dark Souls 1 is the only one that doesn't have 1.0 on PC. Awesome. Okay, I wanna... Melintra's not here yet. I didn't talk to her enough. Actually, I guess since I'm here, I can buy stuff from Malin, but I want to buy the stuff from Melintra first. I did build around it, though. I specifically went out of my way to build around it. I had 30-30 extremely quickly. I don't know. I guess I didn't. I'm not that. I need to upgrade my faith for fashion. I didn't, like, know how to build around spells, and I guess I still don't, but... I do generally prefer melee over spells, though. I've never understood why people have always said spells are the easy mode in this game. Or in these games, rather. When, melee is significantly more efficient the vast majority of the time. And using melee isn't that difficult. As long as you try. I've always found it harder with spells. I've had to try harder while using spells.
Thanks very much.
Think them crossbows Dark Bolt. Is that actually good? If so, that is awesome. Because it seems like one of those things that looks really cool, but it is actually underwhelming. Okay, with that... Who first? I guess center first makes sense. Like, during all my sorcery runs of Dark Souls 1, I would, like, you know, get through the early game. The early game would be tedious because all I had was Soul Arrow. And then once I actually got a decent spell, I was like, I could do a little bit of damage for the 2 enemies. Oh wait, I already got that. And then by the time I actually need those spells, like, you know, I should have been using Soul Arrow the whole time, which still makes it a slog. And then you get, you know, the crazy spells from Logan. But by that point, it's so late in the game that things that are resistant to magic, you know, you're just doing no damage to them, and the things that aren't, you still don't have that many casts of the actually good spells. So you're using, like, great heavy Soul Arrow on random mobs instead of Soul Spear. And then you're using Soul Spear on the bosses, and it's doing, like, you know, half their health, if not a little bit more, but then you still have to use the weaker spells to finish them off or whatever. Oh, I've really understood the insane hype over spells. Like, some of them are really good, obviously, like Dark Bead. Even Crystal Soul Spear does a lot, but they're definitely not any better than melee. The Bloodfire spells are crazy? I mean, yeah, but so is melee. Like, sure, you can one-shot a lot of bosses with spells, but you can do the exact same thing with melee. And it requires so much less resource management and everything. I don't know. I mean, dex builds are also pretty silly. Especially with spell buffs, you know? In all the games. Especially Dark Souls 2, but even Dark Souls 1. Like, you know, you throw Sunlight Blade on a rapier, get stock. I think all the games except Dark Souls 3 are easy to be OP in. And even with Dark Souls 3, if you're just using a broadsword, you know, you're gonna be OP. Obviously, some weapons you can't really be insanely good with, but with other weapons, that's like, you're gonna be overpowered without even trying. i.e. most thrusting swords in Dark Souls 2. Or most curved swords in Dark Souls 1. Or any straight sword in Dark Souls 3. Except for the Irithyll straight sword for some reason. I never understood why people loved that one so much. I was hoping for a poison proc there. Darn. Oh well. And like, I don't know, in Dark Souls 1 especially, bows are just better than spells the vast majority of the time. Oh my god, actually, hold on, wait. Brain Blast. I should do a run of Goddess of the Sun edition with bows. That would be... Ugh. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, if you want to be overpowered in Goddess of the Sun edition, the easiest way to do that is with bows. That's true in the base game too, though. Just get RTSR and... like, even without hyper mode, you're going to be doing some pretty silly damage with bows in Dark Souls 1. Composite bow with 40-40, and you're two-shotting a lot of bosses, right? Bows are insane in Demon Souls. I need to do a bow run of Demon Souls. I think I started that, but never really got that far. I guess I'll do ADP a little bit. Yes, one bow's better than spells? Absolutely. In Dark Souls 1, like the black bow with 40 dexterity is already insane, but the composite bow with 40-40, and you're with large arrows, with RTSR, even without RTSR, you're doing pretty silly damage for a range attack that doesn't require an insane amount of stat investment, or 27-40, I guess. But well, yeah, I guess with late game spells, but for the vast majority of the game, bows are going to be stronger in general, right? Like, yeah, once you get the strongest spell in the game, spells are going to be better. Rat Ring and Thief Ring. Proof. Are motion values for bows similar in Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1? Like, if you use, Clever Rat and Morion, are you just, like, one-shotting things with bows in Demon Souls? The thing with bows is that their motion values are very, very overtuned. So you're getting double, sometimes triple the damage with RTSR. And then, like, even by the time you get Dark Bead, yeah, they're still going to be very, very similar. If I know my bow-only video didn't do super good in the algorithm, but if you... like, just the Kalameet fight, I think, shows very well what I'm talking about. That was one of my favorite runs I did, because bows are so much stronger than I expected them to be. Especially because so many people said that bows are, you know... or so many people did Dark Souls 1 bow-only challenge run, quote-unquote, right? But those are actually very, 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 very good in Dark Souls 1, and probably the easiest way to trivialize the game. Dark Souls, I didn't find Dark Souls 2 bows to be very good, to be honest. The damage was very, very underwhelming, especially because motion values don't work the same in this game. So you're not getting, you know, crazy damage like you would in Dark Souls 1 off of bows. Especially with, like, RTSR or whatever. Okay, had to make sure she didn't try to blow me up. Make me explode immediately, you know? Like women are known to do. I've never found kiting to be specifically useful in Dark Souls 1, or Dark Souls 2, I mean, or even having that much range. I don't know, Dark Souls 2 very much feels intended to be played with range. Or not range, I mean. You mean the tracking? I didn't find it that crazy compared to Dark Souls 1. Okay. Did I upload the Dark Souls 2 bow-only video? I'm pretty sure I did. Oof. I know with the route that or the dev did in this game, the Scorpion Stinger was was the highest DPS weapon possible for the Covetous Demon. Yeah, I used the Bow of Want for the majority of the DLC. Unfortunately, it is not immediately. I am a slow exploder, but arguably that could be a benefit. Not for me, but I know crossbows. Oh my god. I know there are good crossbows in this game, but I haven't gone out of my way to try them yet. I've done bow only, and that was maybe the hardest run I've ever done in this game. Or in any Souls game. That was awful in the DLC. But I'm excited to try, like, you know, shield crossbow or whatever. Ah, Decisive one? I don't think I've ever used that one at all. I've heard that scythes are good in this game, but after how very much overhyped they are in Dark Souls 1, I'm not super excited to try them. In this context, explode is a euphemism, yes. Innuendo is probably a better term. Dual Mundane Avalon breaks the game. I'm excited to try that. Thank you for the clarification, Ember. Because the Pyromancer ladies, the Desert Sorceresses, they have an attack where they shoot out a single fireball that hangs out for a second and then explodes, but it explodes immediately if it touches you. But explode can also be used as a euphemism. Playstyle plays a huge role. Yeah, that's true. I agree. It's very much why I prefer Ricard's Rapier for high burst damage over Dark Bead in Dark Souls 1. Despite, you know, Dark Bead arguably being much easier to use. Huh, I don't think I've ever backstabbed one of those guys. Because I've never really tried. It's so weird having this much health this early in the game. This feels wrong. I usually have like 20 health at this point. Pardon me. Oh, I thought I could make it. Oh well. Hey! Oh my god. There we go. I think this is the least life gems I've ever used as well. Not gonna be able to cut off her tail in this fight, but that's whatever. Come over here. Oh my goodness. He knows. He's figured it out. It's not like going into... I should have got grabbed. Hold on. Do it again, please. I'm sorry. No. What the... Okay, whatever. I'm always scared to go into the poison in this fight, but there's not really that big of a negative to doing that. That's not like I've not beaten her without draining the poison, you know? The unique properties in hitboxes create small moments of doing a little more than what... A little more when you can't be too close or too far. I don't know, I think those, for the most part, kind of do the same thing, right? Have unique tracking, yeah. I like how iframes for boss doors. I like it. I think it's exclusively a positive because it forces you to engage with the level design, right? Because if you didn't have that, it would be extremely easy to run past things, which would mean fewer people would have engaged with the level design in the first place. And I think it's exclusively a positive. What are these statues about? I've never really thought about them. Huh. I think spells are a lot more unique in Dark Souls 2. Like Dark Souls 1 didn't have a soul greatsword, it didn't have like that spiral. Is that? Huh. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. Griffins or hippogriffs? I am not up to date on my mythological creatures, but I think they're griffins. Oh, birds are rad as fuck, true. Yeah, lingering flame, that's true. Is that why the birdmen in Hades Tower of Flame are birdmen? What? Why did it lock onto that one? That scared me. Oof. Oh my goodness. Why are you scared to go down a 2-inch ledge? Remaster? Does Remastered have broken spell scaling? Or, tracking? I've never noticed anything off about it. I guess I've never really used spells in Prepare to Die, though. Okay, wait for it to knock an arrow. I guess I could have just ran past. That's fine. Ah, starting off with a jump, huh? And an explosion. Jeez. He was not happy about that. Yeah, the Switch is where I played Dark Souls 1 the first time. But I also never used spells on the Switch. He's already poisoned? Oh. No, excuse me. All the lighting and stuff, I know for sure, and like particle effects and whatever, is also Prepare to Die in the Switch version. I'm not sure exactly what all changes it does and doesn't have though. I'm pretty sure prompt swapping is in Dark Souls 1, or sorry, in the Switch version. No hit runs would be hell. I mean, no damage runs would be, but would the aura count as a hit? He's poisoned. He's stinky. I think that's the first time I've actually noticed the green poison aura on an enemy. That's kind of chunking him, actually. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I've never really had any issues with spell tracking in Remastered, so that's probably why there's not a mod to fix it. It's not really a thing that is particularly noticeable by most people in casual playthroughs and whatever. Forlorn! Where is she, actually? Over there. Hello, Forlorn. He's coming to see me one more time before I have to go next week. I'll be back the week after, though. I won't be gone for 2 whole weeks this time. Just wanted to be poked. I get it. God damn it. Of course. I mean, I feel like the tracking is supposed to be bad when the enemy moves, right? You're supposed to actually pay attention to how the enemy is moving and not just hit the button. I still don't think I know how to pronounce your name, but hello, Danny. Welcome. I was thinking about how to pronounce that, but I'm just gonna stick with Danny for now. Welcome. Hope you enjoy your time back. Come here. Get off. Ah, that's fine. This goddamn place. I like this level. This is one of my favorites. Falling there as a canon event. I've already had my canon event. This is like my 50th playthrough of this game. Probably more, actually. I played this game a lot. I've had all of my canon events in this game. Danny is good? Okay. Cool. Will he fall? He will. God damn it. Everything's fine. Literally nothing to worry about. I wasn't even scared. Not even a little bit. Oh, I am gonna go heal, though. I was thinking about Denny's mustard for sure. A new comic run. Yeah. That makes sense. Turtle soup. Ugh. Now I have to fall into the Iron King's hole. I don't want to go in his hole. I was gonna say, no. Never mind. I'm not gonna say that on stream. Never mind. Not because it's particularly bad, but kind of makes me uncomfy. Denny's. I haven't eaten at Denny's in probably a decade by now. Probably a good thing that I haven't. Yeah, personally, I'm not into men. And my, I had like the trans woman powers in Dark Souls 1, you know? And one of them is, it was speeding up to, you know, go fast. I don't have that in Dark Souls 2, so can my other lesbian power or whatever be to not go in the Iron King's hole? I don't even know how I feel about calling myself a lesbian anymore, actually. God damn it. I like making jokes about discovering my sexuality and everything, but I'm still very much going on the journey. And I don't know. Nice to learn more about myself for sure. America's premier source of gastroenteritis. Is that the one? Was that the one that causes autism or whatever? I really want to do Unremarkable and Odd Places in Dark Souls 2, but I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet, you know? I think that'll be a really fun video to do eventually, but I wish the Demon's Souls one got more attention. I really liked doing that one. No, I know, but there was a study, quote unquote, a long time ago. H-Bomber guy talked about it. It's the one that was supposed to be like vaccines cause autism, and all the people who had a specific vaccine had a specific strain or a specific kind of gastro something. that cause their autism. Well, haha, my my trans woman powers have overcome your whole. God, I don't think I liked saying that actually. Ah, it's fine. Never mind. I don't know. I got a crush on one man, and my entire brain chemistry changed. So. Still though, the only real person, the only, like, I'm pretty sure he's just like a cis man, or is the only actual, like, real life person, human man that I've been into. Like, consistently anyway, I guess. The whole celebrity crush thing. Figured out you're a lesbian not that long ago? That's awesome. And I'm going the other way. I've found out that I'm an omnisexual. I know people who think the old Iron King is hot, if that's what you're referring to. No comment on whether or not I'm one of them, personally, but... I don't know. Personally, he's not my type, but I absolutely get it. Because, like, yeah. You know, I get it. Okay. Oh yeah, what's this Freya? Going for about 2 hours. I did do the Smasher Pass thing, that's true. I think I said pass. Because I wasn't into men. But... I think most people consider, like, attraction to non-binary people lesbian, if you are a woman. The waist does a lot for him, it's true. I also have a bisexual headmate, or I guess a headmate who is into men. But he's also not her type, so. Looks like Diablo from the video game Diablo. Maybe I should have my bisexual headmate do another Dark Souls Smasher Pass. Do I care about vitality? I should probably get a little bit for my armor later. And then I guess I start leveling up intelligence and faith. What is it? What are the requirements for Dark Weapon? I don't remember. I guess I can just go buy it. It's like 2,000 souls. I think culturally, right now, I'm a lesbian, but I think technically I would consider myself omnisexual at this point. Dark Weapon. 1614, okay. Where am I going? I'm going here. Here, okay. Is it gay to be into a boobed twink with snakes for legs? No. Yes, yes. Yes, it is, I think, actually. 1614. I'm really bad at remembering requirements in these games. Dark Souls 3 Claymore is 1613, I think. And I only remember that because that was one of the first weapons I used in Dark Souls 3. I don't think pronouns determine sexuality. God, I saw... I hate TikTok sometimes. TikTok has a lot of really good takes. TikTok has a lot of really bad takes. I saw a video with like, I don't know, 30 likes. And it was this girl saying that, quote, lesbosexual and lesbo-romantic don't need to be labels because you don't need to appropriate lesbianism or something, which was wild to me because finsexual, first of all, is a thing and is effectively, but also not entirely lesbosexual, and there's absolutely a use for that terminology. Ugh. Like, I don't know, you don't get to choose what words make people comfortable, so... Have a good night, Flat Cap. Thank you for being here while you could. Hope you sleep well. He, him, lesbian. I'm still under the impression that Gwendolyn works better as a trans man than a trans woman, or whatever. I've always thought of labels as, well, not always, but I've been beginning to think of labels as words that make people comfortable with how they describe themselves. And I think that is the healthiest way to think of them. And also the most useful way to use them, right? Because they're never going to be perfect. They're never going to only mean one thing to everyone, right? So them just being words that people use for whatever use they think is most comforting for them works perfectly. And is also the most consistent use for them, right? Ouch. I think just the fact that he hides, he hides the thing that makes him more feminine is just very, like, he was raised as a woman but didn't want to be and hides that fact, right? And I think if anything that really shows how strongly trans-mask he is. I'd argue that aromantic doesn't exist. Interesting. That's what I'm saying, S. He is explicitly assigned female at birth because of his affinity to the moon, despite the fact that he was a male, right? And it's fictional, and people don't seem to understand that fictional worlds can have different social rules. I'm glad that I personally know a lot of queer people of a lot of different identities, because I feel like if I didn't, I'd be a much worse person. I don't know that that's true, but I think I would have a harder time understanding asexuality and other general ace identities, ace spectrum identities. Identities? Sexualities, sorry. If I didn't know a lot of ace people. But just the way things have been described to me and the conversations I've had have made it a lot easier to just, like, accept that a lot of people have different feelings on different things, you know? I mean, knowing queer people in the first place is what made me not a Christian anymore, and therefore not homophobic, so... Yeah, there are a lot of really stupid people. I think the spiders have stopped bothering me enough that I don't have to use torches very often, but that specific spider still messes with me a lot. Just the way that it's hanging over the walkway. Ugh, I hate it a lot. It's so awful. I don't think I'll ever get over or how creeped out I am by specifically the spiders in this game that don't move. Unless you attack them. Omnigender? Gwendolyn, you mean? What does omnigender mean? Yeah, I think a lot of, especially cishet people have a really hard time understanding different kinds of love. All the gender, okay. I wasn't sure if it was like the difference between pansexual and omnisexual, where omnisexual is like with a preference and pansexual is not. And then omnigender was going to be the same thing, like all gender with a preference, and then something like pangender, you know? Ooh. 6? I thought there were only 5 at the start. Basically the opposite of agender? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Is Freya susceptible to poison? How do you do it? Questions? Ugh. I'm sorry you had to go through that. That is awful. The only actually homophobic person in my family. Well, there are 2. There's an uncle and my dad. My sperm donor, as my mom and grandma call him. And I have completely cut ties with both of them, and I am very happy I was able to do that before too much annoying stuff happened. I do hate that uncle a lot. Terrible, terrible person. There we go. Freya is immune, that makes sense. It's weird that Quelaag is immune to poison, but not toxic. I don't remember if I changed that in Goddess of the Sun edition. That is a great idea. I don't think anyone in my family talks to him regularly anymore, including his own mom, which is great. You can poop kill Quelaag, yes. He is very, very resistant, but not immune. What's my soul memory right now? Only 700,000. Honestly, I think that's a better outcome than it could have been. For what it's worth. I'm pretty sure I mean, people have done, like, consumables only, right? So I'm sure people have done poop only. Dark Souls 2 Toxic is horrifying. You should play Goddess of the Sun edition for no reason in particular. You might have your mind changed. Just awkward, yeah. For sure. Family. I have a much better found family, for sure. Common fruit and dung pies from the racking is essential. I think that's essential to every build. I'm kind of scared of when I do my starting class runs. What is it, Explorer? That has all the consumables and stuff. But I think that'll be an interesting run to do. Maybe I should do the starting class run soon. I don't know. That's gonna be a very long process. Gonna take, you know, about twice as long as Seek Mightier Souls. I didn't pick up the... I gotta go back. I didn't get the Great Soul Embraced. What if I just killed the Rotten a couple times? I think that'd be more fun. I'm gonna kill the Rotten a couple times. Do I have multiple ascetics? I only have 1. I can get another one from Brightstone Cove. That's fine. Killing the rotten is fun anyway. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. Yeah, I think Elden Ring has the worst case of wanting to use consumables but just not being able to. It's because they're not, you know, infinitely purchasable. Not all of them are infinitely purchasable. Dutch Dark Souls challenge runner. To be honest, I don't think I don't know any of the like nationalities of any of the Dark Souls challenge runners I watch. Crafting an Elden Ring felt like such a chore, yeah. Is it JK Leeds that you're thinking of? He seems like the kind of person to do a Gunpei run only. The poison knives in Remastered are do like an insane amount of damage compared to vanilla. That made me think they were good in base game, and then they weren't. JK is British. JK Leeds is from Leeds, which is in England. Would it be like Baron's Castle? Maybe? I don't know. That's been a while since I watched many Dark Souls challenge runners. Making the videos makes it really hard to watch the videos. Vins, it completely changes the combat in Elden Ring, but I think in a much, much better way than Convergence. Vins gives you reusable consumables. So stuff like Glintstone clusters or whatever, and cracked... I don't know. Most of the like throwable pot items and stuff are reusable in Elden Vins. It's press? Okay. Like I said, I'm not up to date on my Souls Challenge runner nationalities, so... I really don't like Convergence. It's... ugh. I hate how it changes the combat. More so I hate how it changes the balancing, actually. It's just not interesting to me. Whereas Vins goes for a similar thing, but kind of in the opposite direction, where it isn't necessarily... I don't know. It's a... I don't know how I would explain it, but I think Vins is better. No, I'm not, like, mad that it exists. It's cool that other people like it. It's just not my thing, personally. It's just very unfun for me. Yeah, that's... yeah. Exactly that, Cinder. I think it's a very cool idea. And I think it's awesome that a lot of people like it. It's just really not for me, unfortunately. I want to like things. I'm very much not the kind of person who just hates things to hate things. I love liking things, but if I don't like something, it is very hard to get me to like it. Unfortunately. Does New Game Plus affect resistances in this game? Yeah, I used to fall asleep to a lot of different challenge runners and stuff, but now I just make them. Occasionally, I'll fall asleep to like my own videos, because I'll remember a challenge run I did a long time ago. Like, huh, I don't remember how I did that, and then I'll go back and watch it in bed, and I'll end up falling asleep. It feels very strange. Okay, that's definitely more than a million soul memory. Vins is very much not that. If that's what you're referring to. Vins turns it into more of a hack and slash than a Souls-like, I guess. For Dark Souls 1, I don't know, I like rebalancing the game. I just don't think the way that Convergence rebalances it is very interesting. Is it 24 or 34? Is it 30 for max duration, actually? I don't remember on Dark Weapon. That gets improved? Define improved, because I disagree. I think it gets changed in a way that makes it less interesting. It gets changed in a way that encourages you to find the most broken and overpowered thing you can, rather than using what you think is cool, in my experience. Admittedly, I didn't play it for that long, so... I don't think you're an idiot. Rude to yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't give it that much of a chance, admittedly, because I just didn't like what I did experience. I would very much like to know why you do like it, because if I can like it, then I want to, you know? I think Archthrones, I struggled to remember what it was called. Archthrones is another really good example of something that a lot of people like that I do not, and I really wish I could. I find the enemy placement to be incredibly frustrating in Archthrones, on top of, let's just like the general balance. For those of you who don't know, Archthrones is a Dark Souls 3 mod that, I mean, turns it into a different game functionally. It changes the progression to be much more similar to, like, Demon Souls, where you have, like, separate levels that you can go through, but you kind of have to go through them linearly in order. That's why it's called Archthrones, because the Demon Souls Archstones, but it uses the thrones in Firelink. That's a really, really cool idea, and I wish I liked it, but I just don't. It feels frustrating, I guess. It feels like... You know how Elden Ring took Dark Souls 3 and made it much flashier, but didn't necessarily improve the combat? It just made it look flashier. It's kind of the same thing for me between Dark Souls 3 and Archthrones. In a very different way for sure, but I don't know. Numbers fell off in ways that made it frustrating to play. Will they give an interesting context? Huh. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I'll have to look into it more for sure. Like, the combat changes specifically were... The combat and balance changes specifically were what I didn't like about it. I'm not huge on the world itself. I think the world in the context of level design is kind of the only context that I care about the world itself in. You know? And while Convergence has a lot of different builds, I don't think they're balanced very well. Lore important visual mods? Uh-huh. Sounds suspicious. You should try Goddess of the Sun edition. Link in the description. I feel like I ended up hating the level design. But again, I didn't give it too much of a chance, and it's been a while too, so... Maybe I'll like it more after playing Vins. Vins has some very silly builds. The poison perfume, one of the classes starts with a poison perfume, and that's probably the strongest weapon in the mod. Especially with like jump attacks. It's very silly. And most weapon classes are very viable. Bows are very, very strong early game too. It very much encourages having several weapons, having range and melee, with different damage types and different contexts and stuff, which is something that I really like as well. Oh, I didn't want that door to be open. Vins doesn't change the level design at all. It does change a lot of bosses, especially the main bosses. Like it replaces Magmor Makar with Noster from Night Rain, which I think is a very, very good change in the context of the mod. It also changes, or like it makes Godric much more threatening of a fight. It gives Morgott an entire second phase, which is a little bit overtuned, but still cool. Placidus Axe also gets a second and third phase, and then a finisher attack, which is very, very much overtuned. Went out of the DLC. Crazy, made a lot of underutilized places feel fresh and new. Huh. Might have to look into that again. I'm gonna be gone from home on Thursday. I'm leaving Thursday night. And I don't think my laptop would be strong enough to run a modded Elden Ring like that, but once I get back, that might be something I look into. Give it another chance, I guess. I don't think Dragon Riders should be that big of a deal. Okay. Decent damage. I don't watch Soul speedruns very often. I used to watch random GDQ runs constantly, but I have not in a very long time. I like individual like speedrunning content, but watching general speedruns isn't a huge thing for me anymore. Welcome, Melissa. I'm glad everyone is yipping in solidarity. The thing. Haven't done that since the beginning of the stream. But here's the yipper indeed. I'm surprised Ria's not here. I was talking to her right before the stream, and she usually joins, but or after, when she's awake anyway. But alas, you're cool causing the yipping. It was at least correlated for sure. I don't know why. Oh my god, that one always opens with Lingering Flame. Oh. Yep, count as 8. I'm glad I can bring a smile to your face. That means a lot. I'm also trying my absolute hardest to not act flustered. That is pretty low for this late in the stream. Not a big day for yipping, I guess. That might change though. Lesbian index finger pointing at screen emoji. I've been found out. I'm not washed. I'm good at the video game, I swear. Just because I've been playing a lot of Night Rain and getting my muscle memory thrown off doesn't mean I'm bad at the video game. Drawing attention to it does make it happen a lot more. No comment. Not on stream anyway. Something, join the Discord. Link in the description. I don't know. Natural segue into self-promotion. Join the Discord and like the stream, maybe? Give me money? If you so desire. Look, I may not fit some stereotypes, but I certainly fit others. I don't think about that guy. I'd rather use the key as a weapon than get the ring. I like the key to the embedded. That's one of my favorite weapons in this game after using that. I don't know why I'm fighting these guys. Oh my goodness. Damn, I thought that would kill him. Lilith? That is an extremely common name among us. I don't know who you're referring to. It's not that big of a server. I think there are like 400 members, but the vast majority of them are not active. There are stretches of, you know, days where most channels don't even get used. So thank you, Danny. Yeah, about 20. Bloodborne car? Yeah, okay. I figured it was her. I've seen a lot of people talking about her, but honestly, her stuff, whatever it is, there's like the Bloodborne Souls girls, and then there's the Dark Souls 2 Souls girls, and generally they don't overlap all that much. if you know what I mean. 400 is a lot of people for sure, but most of them aren't active. At least not in the server, so 400 is definitely an overstatement. Obviously no pressure to join, but it's not as intimidating as it seems. You met Lilith IRL. That's awesome. Oh, I need 2 more levels in Faith for my gloves, don't I? Yeah. Very sad. I guess I can put these on, though. I like the swordsman set a lot, but I also like my set a lot. Seeing people who have strong opinions always makes you anxious. I have very strong opinions, but I try to communicate them lightly. I'm very aware that I don't communicate them lightly sometimes, but I do try. Yeah, there's the trans woman who is used to other trans women falling on their knees when they meet them, and then there's the trans women who are used to being forced to their knees when they meet other trans women, and I am certainly the latter. You know, opposite ends of the spectrum or whatever. I mean, what? No, I'm not. That's... What are you talking about? Who said that? Jeez, this is YouTube. This is a PG-13 website. You need to calm down. I don't know what you're talking about, Amber. That's crazy. I don't know where you heard that. Really, really reaching, huh? Weird women are awesome. Go. I think it's against your will, quote unquote. Is the implication. Huh? I've never seen that animation end like that. That was very strange. Oof. Smithbox works with Dark Souls 2, but it's very weird and underdeveloped for sure. So you can use Smithbox, but it's not as comprehensive as Dark Souls 1 Smithbox. That is true. I agree. I agree, Gray. Uncommon Gray. Gray? Uncommon. First name Uncommon or first name Gray? But yes, I agree. Should I grab the Estus Shard here? I'll do that between streams, that's fine. Mad Warrior Edition? I do not. Gray is better, okay. First name Gray. And Uncommon is a title. Don't worry, I wasn't planning on it. I know what it's like to be called Unk. I joined a Deltarune server, and I should have expected it to be 14-year-olds, but I was hoping that maybe it wasn't. And there was like one other person in their mid-20s, and everyone else was calling me Unk. I was sad. Weapons or spells are changed to be more like what the boss uses? That's a really interesting idea. I think something like that would fit better in like Elden Ring. But, huh. I'll look into it for sure. I know, right? They could at least call me Aunt. Like, come on. Huh? Wait, I got hit while in the animation, but it didn't knock me out of it? That's really weird. I've never seen that happen. It balances the game to be faster. I think immediately that makes me apprehensive because a lot of the fast is difficult balance mods they tend to be not great. But restored cut content, that's another thing that I'm very much not into. Like it was cut for a reason, you know? I don't think reintroducing it is necessarily a bad thing, but it does make me really apprehensive for sure. God, like there's so many Dark Souls 1 mods that restore Jaril, the cut boss, and it's always bad. It's always bad. That makes me sad. I've never seen a good rendition of the Jaril fight. A jar of eels, indeed. I gotta pee. I will be right back. And this elevator is a great time to do that. I'm back. Fork. That guy probably just got reworked into the fork kinks. Oh, fork. Okay, never mind. I mean, there was also definitely a lot of Dark Souls 2 stuff that was cut for a reason. Definitely not all of it, but other than, or well, a reason other than rough development. Definitely not all of it, but a lot of it for sure. I think for me, the reason that I don't like restoring a lot of cut content is because I like the game the way it is. And a lot of people have like, you know, the idea that the game would have been better had they done something different. And that's why the game is bad or whatever, instead of just like not understanding how to play the game the way it is. Sure, but adding to the experience also isn't necessarily a good thing, in my opinion. That's why I don't know, that's kind of why I'm very particular about how I treat the Souls games, I guess. What I'm going for. Yeah, that's true of Dark Souls 1 in my experience as well. Like, Remastered is incredible, but then they fix, like, the dragon butt standing up when you jump attack it, or they fix attacking the thieves through the doors in the lower burg, right? And little changes like that that technically make the game better, I think remove from a lot of the charm of the game. I'll look into it for sure, but I am apprehensive. I guess is what I'm going for. Hey, no, no! God damn it! I was really trying to get rid of it before it spawned. But, oh well. Pardon me. Hey, the skeletons destroyed the grave from. God damn it! Well, at least it's not gonna spawn again. I think another thing, what was that one? The one Dark Souls 1 mod, it's like Nightfall or something. I played the demo for that, and the main thing that I remember is they made the Stray Demon way, way too fast, and it just made it such an unfun, boring fight, despite being, you know, quote-unquote harder or whatever. Mods like that are the reason I'm apprehensive in the first place, really. Yeah, definitely. Changing ADP feels like misunderstanding the game at its base. Have I played Slay the Spire? No, but I think I own it. I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. Also destroyed my Spire. Nightfall is definitely not a mod I'm looking forward to after playing the demo however long ago. That said, I did like the Fading Flame quite a bit, and there definitely felt like instances of things that I would have disliked that I ended up really liking when I played it. That is like very beta Fading Flame, and I know they're still very much working on that, and I'm excited to see where it goes, but I'll have to try Nightfall again. They are pretty good as is. That's why with Goddess of the Sun Addiction, my whole thing with that mod was to just change it, give you a different experience rather than trying to make a better experience, quote unquote. Isn't Slay the Spire a deck building roguelike? I hope you're enjoying the mod. I put a lot of work into it. There's still a couple changes I need to make, and there are some like bug fixes and whatever that I need to do, but I think overall it's good as is. The main thing that I want to do right now is make it so in New Game Plus, you're permanently Gravelorded. I can't figure out how to do that. I think the whole time is convoluted thing is a little misconstrued. Like, the way they did it in Dark Souls 3 doesn't feel like how they intended it in Dark Souls 1. It is cool that, you know, Nightfall is like re-exploring that in the context of Dark Souls 1, but basically invented the deck builder roguelike genre. I see. I like Balatro. I just have killer destruction mice on like bowling pins. That's a good question. Okay, I guess. Well, first of all, I'm gonna put this on before I forget. Menuing is the thing that I'm worst at in this game, apparently. Let me go here. Ringy ringy. I think I own the first game from Humble or something. If I do own it, it's because of Humble or something similar. I don't remember if I checked this one's Humble games. I've been wanting to, like, there's so many like random games that I want to make videos on for my second channel that I haven't gotten around to. Picross is a big one. Tetris is another one. But I feel like I want to finish the Sonic 06 video first, and that's going to take so long. What magic damage feels like? I think I've always managed, or imagined it as like a, like, shocking feeling. Probably didn't mean Skyward Sword time travel mechanics, yeah. I'll try Slay the Spire 1 if I do own it, and let you know what I think. I like Balatro, surely. I like the other deck building roguelike, right? For sure. Uh, what is there? A slicing, like you're getting it with a ton of small crystals. Huh. I can see that. I guess I'm gonna use all my boss souls. Being punched with a boxing glove coated in battery acid. I like the battery acid. I think that's more what I was going for. Like licking a battery, you know? I think that was what my brain was trying to interpret. Like that kind of feeling.
Is that here, Tisila? However,
Okay, give me 2 more faith. And then ADP, because it's funny. That's the best use of my levels that I can think of right now. I guess I could level attunement. I should probably level attunement. Do I have an attunement slot right now? Oh, that's fine. I don't need an attunement slot right now. I think for me, the way that I play Dark Souls, I do my best to make it a new experience every time I play it. And that's why I, use different weapons every time and whatever. And try to learn something new every run. Um, and because of that, it's hard for me to get tired of the games, like vanilla. But like a butterfly, sting like a battery. True. Adenosine diphosphate. That's my favorite stat in any of the Souls games. God, I need to make a Dark Souls 2 video that just like talks about everything, all the mechanics that I love that people tend to hate. I need to talk about level design and verticality and enemy placement and just leveling and weapons and ugh. I'm gonna make a 3-hour video that's just about random Dark Souls 2 mechanics that I like and level design stuff. 8-hour, I can do it. Lost connection to Steam. Wow. I forgot Steam has maintenance today. Shrine of Amana is awesome. I love Shrine of Amana. I agree, Eth. I don't know. I feel like I haven't gotten anywhere close to exploring the vast majority of builds in any of the Souls games, right? Even like Dark Souls 1, I feel like there's a lot for me to do still. Yeah, verticality is extremely interesting in this game. There's a lot to talk about with that specifically. Cold and soupy. Why soupy specifically? I like cold, but like cold on your soul rather than cold on your body, you know? That's a vibe it gives me. Holy damage and Elden Ring feels like sunburn. That's a good interpretation. I need to get Rhea to play more Core Keeper with me. We didn't get very far. Like Necrosis? Yeah. Abyss magic is very weighty. Huh. The top of Maslow's hierarchy. Yeah, Guardian Dragon was certainly a boss fight. Went a little bit faster than I expected. Yeah, I'm not big on respecking most of my characters. I like to stick to a build. If I'm not having fun with a build, usually I'll just start a new character. The only time I'll respec is if I realize that I fucked up my levels and could get more damage by respecking with my current build. Guardian dragged that in.
Long have a walk, but do not.
Oh yeah, I absolutely believe you. You've almost definitely played this game a lot more than I have. I only have like, I want to say 600 hours in Dark Souls 2, so maybe 700 at this point. Nowhere near my, 1500 hours in Dark Souls 1, and this game is so much bigger. So I really want to make that Dark Souls 2 critique through like I did with Dark Souls 3, but that's going to be like a 20-hour video. That's going to be really hard to make. I think I need to be in the mood to make that as well. Work on it, I guess. Maybe that's something I could stream. What do you think, chat? I don't think I've ever referred to you collectively as chat. Would that be a fun stream? Like doing the Dark Souls 3 critique through thing that I did, but in this game? Like, and for those of you who didn't see it, just like going through every single level thoroughly and carefully, and just like talking about all the enemy placements and item placements and design decisions and everything like that, all focused in one series. That's bad. I'm fine. Ow. Everything's fine. Okay. Good to know. The motion sickness bridge worse? Yes. They do punish you for being a coward, so I've always... I don't know. I feel like once you know they attack you if you run past, it's a more cowardly to fight the big guys, but it's kind of scary to run past, honestly. Okay. Let me go back to the forest. We just have Giant Lord and Groundwatcher and Defender and Nashandra. But if I can remember where things are. Yeah, I have a lot to talk about when it comes to Dark Souls 2, in terms of like... I hate to say critique, because I don't think that's right, but, talking about the level design and whatever. I guess critique is the most accurate word I can use. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. Same thing with Sonic 06, which I think is why that video is taking so long. I want to say everything I can all at once in Sonic 06. 17 trillion Galupshidos. Wait, hold on. I want to get a parry. Oh no, I didn't encounter Smalia. I didn't talk to him in the crypt, so whatever. Praise and critique? Yeah, true. I know critique isn't necessarily negative, it just doesn't feel right to say critique. Because... Analysis. Analysis, yeah. I like analysis. That's a better word. I have a lot to say about Dark Souls 2 in terms of analysis. It's just the vibe of the word, you know? Welcome back, Alyssa. I was about to yip on purpose, and I thought, no, that would be a dumb joke, and then I almost yipped on accident. Analyze and assess. Analyze and asses. Also a dumb joke that I probably shouldn't have said, but... You're biased. There you go. I can't see. Everything's fine. My Dark Souls 2 bow-only character was named Jay. I don't even remember why. I just thought it was a good name for an archer. I guess probably because the whole bird thing. The provider, I guess. That was greedy, but it was funny, so it's worth it. There we go. Letter J is shaped like a bow, kinda? True. Okay. Now I go level up one more time. For this stream, anyway. From Hartsville. I do have other ticks, yeah. The yipping is a tick, but...
Is that a shard you found?
Uh,
Here. However,
my head also shakes. It's given me headaches before, it sucks, but the yipping actually makes it less bad most of the time, which is good. Like the shaking, less intense, anyway. Sometimes they're annoying. Coming from myself anyway, but I also think ticks are cute the majority of the time. Or funny, depending on how someone uses them. Poison and bleed scaling off of 2 stats in Dark Souls 2 is weird? I didn't know that. I didn't know they scaled at all, actually. What does, what do they scale off of? I imagine dexterity and something? If I had to guess. Poison is dex and ADP. That makes sense. Okay, so scaling ADP for funny isn't exclusively funny. Good to know. Bleed is dex faith? That's really weird. Why faith? Huh. Is it Myth's Bent Blade that does poison as well? There's also the Manslayer, there's also the Old Whip. I don't know if you have to infuse the Old Whip with poison to make it do poison, but I know it's a really good poison weapon. Not the Old Whip, sorry. The Spotted Whip. Faith users use Morningstar. True. I've used the Morningstar for a couple playthroughs, and I know it's like not good. I also remember it being not bad. I guess it's because it's Dark Souls 2. And most weapons are pretty solid in Dark Souls 2. I should be careful. Oh my god, I'm getting bullied. Spotted Whip has an A poison, okay. Good luck, Coley. Thank you for being here while you could. Hope work isn't too terrible. Mythos Bent Blade is toxic, okay. I'm trying to like read the chat and fight the boss at the same time and it's not working. Hold on, I need to lock in a little bit. See that positioning? I'm good at the game, actually. Killed her mid-backflip and she didn't realize until she landed. Huh, that felt rude. Can only inflict bleed if you're a member of the church. That checks out. Strawberries. um, I'm excited to try so many weapons in Dark Souls 2. Like, even a lot of really simple ones. Like, the Arc Sword is a very good example of that. I'm very excited to try the Arc Sword. I'm excited to try... I don't know, there's so many. A bunch of random straight swords. One of my favorite looking straight swords is the Ashen Warrior sword. I think that one does bleed, and I know bleed is pretty awful in Dark Souls 2, but I'm still excited to use that because I like how it looks. The Fume sword is another one that I think looks really cool. I don't know, most of the great swords I'm also excited to do streams with, because I haven't used many of the great swords in this game. The Drangleic sword and the Royal Greatsword are two that are near the top of my list for ones that I'm excited to use, despite them being fairly simple. I don't think there are that many thrusting swords left. I think there's like 2 or 3. Maybe, that I haven't used in a stream yet. I know the Estoc is one of them. The Rapier I'm going to make a video with. I didn't know bleed slowed down enemies. That's good to know. I don't know a lot about this game, apparently. That's because I haven't played the game nearly as much as Dark Souls 1. And also, people don't make content on this game nearly as much. So, I'm excited to learn everything myself, you know? Whips are not comically bad in Dark Souls 1, at least. They might be in 3. Or Elden Ring or whatever, but they're, like, genuinely really good in Dark Souls 1. You have to get them maxed out and with, you know, soft caps. But once you compare them to other weapons at that point, they're very solid. At least the whip, I guess. Oof. The Notched Whip and Guardian's Hail I haven't tried. Whips are bad in Dark Souls 1. Skill issue. Sorry. Genuinely, they're pretty solid in Dark Souls 1. Hero Poise? That's not that big of a deal. In PvE, I'm specifically referring to. I don't care about PvP. I'm just gonna let poison do its thing for a bit. Oh, really? Or poison went away so fast. Fine. I wish the Arumi was better. I guess if you get like Axe Talisman and Charge of Tactier and whatever, it's fine, but it's so good. Yeah, I've used the whip in Dark Souls 1 a couple times and it's really fun. I have not used the Sanctum Repeating Crossbow yet, no. Okay, we're at the end of the base game. That was fast. Sanctum or crossbows in general are something I'm excited to mess with in Dark Souls 2. I've done a whip run of Night Rain with Duchess. That was fun. It wasn't good, but it was fun. So, thoughts on the weapon so far? It's good. The poison is a lot more impactful than I was expecting it to be. The base damage is lower than I expected it to be, but not dramatically. I think once I start using Dark Weapon, my damage will be perfectly fine for the DLC. I might respec and use Lightning for Shulva specifically, but I don't know. We'll see. Probably not. I don't think I'll need it. Isn't is Sin immune to poison or weak to it? I don't remember. Max Talisman, Spike Tier, Lightning Affinity. Yeah. Yeah. Nox Curse Sword. have the Arumis are too. Yeah, I think so too. I very much two-handed the whip. It has a really interesting moveset. Making use of the moveset makes it a lot better for sure, but even if you just R1, like 40 dex with plus 15, it's very adequate. I would put it on par with like the longsword, maybe the broadsword, which was one of my favorite weapons to use. I loved the broadsword. Which I would say is arguably better than the Baldur's Side sword in a lot of contexts, just in terms of it being so much easier to get, you know? I don't know. I know the broadsword being better than the Baldur's Side sword sometimes is a unpopular opinion, but that was my experience with that. Yeah. I guess we'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll see if I do a Goddess of the Sun Edition stream on Thursday as well. I'm thinking about it. We'll see. But I love you all. I hope you enjoyed. There's a link to a Discord in the description if you want to keep talking or whatever. I love you all. I don't know how to end this.